Okay, we're back now talking about achievements. So, what's an achievement? An achievement is not something in the past. It's something, probably an action that I did, something that was probably very difficult, and it still has an effect now in my life. Let's give it a look. For example, these are some things that maybe you have achieved in your life, right? What have you achieved in your life? For example, you may say, oh, well, I have got a great job. Have you guys got a great job? Or maybe you can say, obviously, you can say, I have learned a foreign language. You have learned English, right? Maybe some of you have learned even another one. Maybe you have learned French. Maybe you have learned Italian, or I don't know. That's a great achievement. Maybe I have found love. Have you guys found love? No? Oh, don't worry, we'll help you. I have formed a family. Have you guys formed a family? Have you guys got married or something? Or you can say, I have finished a degree, maybe, or you're about to. Or maybe I haven't finished, but I have obtained great notes. Those are some examples of achievements. I'm pretty sure that you have some more achievements in your life because I think you are very successful people. So, I want you to observe now what similarities can you see in these sentences in here. Do you notice something similar in all of them? Yes, I bet you do, right? What similarities can you see between these sentences? Exactly, right? These sentences are in the present perfect form. You remember present perfect, right? Let's go back for a minute. We use present perfect when we are talking about something that started in the past, but it still affects my present. For example, I have got a great job. If you have a job, obviously you got this job in the past, right? Maybe 1 year ago, maybe a couple months ago, but you still have it in the present. You still have to go, you still have to do your work. So it started in the past, but it still continues, right? Or maybe you can say, I have learned a foreign language. That means you started learning in the past, and now in the present, I mean, you have the knowledge of the language, right? I have found love. Maybe you met the love of your life in the past and you are still together right now, right? I have formed a family. Maybe you got married in the past, but you're still married, right? Maybe you have got some children. I have finished a degree. You started the degree in the past and now you complete it and now you have the degree, right? I have obtained great notes. Maybe you got your first excellent note in the past, but now you keep getting good notes, right? That is why we call it present perfect. It started in the past, but still affects our future. Okay, so now let's take a look at the present perfect. I know you're experts, you know how to use it, but do you guys remember that there are two forms of present perfect? One of them is the one that we checked in the sentences that we call present perfect simple. The present perfect simple is the one that we're familiar with. It says, I have learned two foreign languages. That is present perfect simple. How do we form it? Well, we need the auxiliary have, like that, I have. And obviously that auxiliary needs to be conjugated according to the subject. I have, you have, but she has, he has. Excellent. And after the auxiliary, we need the verb in the form of past participle, right? For example, the verb learn is learned. The past participle, remember that some verbs are regular, like the verb learn, you need to add the letter ed. But some other verbs are irregular. For example, the verb do. We say, I have done, for example, right? Okay, just a little reminder. So in what situations do we use the present perfect? Simple, when we focus on the complete action. What complete action, for example? I have learned two foreign language. I am focused, I am concentrated on the fact that I learned the languages. That's finished. But let's give it a look to the other form. The present perfect continuous. And what's the present perfect continuous? For example, I have been studying English for 3 years. Do you notice a difference? I have learned two foreign language. I have been studying English for 3 years. Let's analyze the elements. First, obviously, we have the auxiliary have, right? And after the auxiliary have, we have another past participle, but that is not the main verb. We have the verb to be in past participle, and that is another auxiliary. So we have auxiliary have and then auxiliary been. And then the main verb is going to be, but now in gerund form. So instead of two elements, like in present perfect simple, I have learned, we have now three elements, like in present perfect continuous. I have been studying English for 3 years. What is the difference? Well, when we use the present perfect continuous, we focus not on the completed action, but on the period, on the time that I took to do this action. So, for example, if I say I have been studying English for 3 years, I'm not telling you that I finished the action. Maybe I continue. I am focusing on the period of 3 years that I have been doing this activity. So, normally, when we use the present perfect continuous, we use the preposition for to indicate the period, to indicate the time. For example, I have been studying English for 3 years. Or, for example, I have been working in the company for 5 months, for example. So basically, the difference is when I use present perfect simple, I am focusing on the action. I have learned, I have found, I have done. But when I use the present perfect continuous, I'm going to focus on the time that I have been doing that activity. I have been studying for 3 years. I have been working for 5 months. I have been doing this activity for this many hours, for example. It's like in Spanish, exactly like that. He hecho o he estado haciendo. So basically, in any situation, it depends on what you want to emphasize. The meaning is similar, but it depends what you want to be concentrated in. Okay? So let me give you a couple more examples. So for example, we have in here present simple. I have read present perfect simple. I have written 5 emails today. I am focused on the result on the 5 emails. But if I say, like up here, I have been writing emails for an hour. No es cuántos haya yo escrito, but like the period of time, like for an hour, I'm very tired. Let me give you another example. I have done my homework. I'm focusing on the fact that I completed the action. But if I say, oh, I have been doing my homework all day, maybe I haven't finished, but I mean all day. I am focusing on the time. Or maybe I can say, take a look, one more example. I have washed the car. I completed it. Or I can say, oh, I have been washing the car. That's why I am so wet. In this case, I am not telling you that I completed washing the car, but the fact that that is the action and that's the reason why I am wet, right?